I will be talking about my research on privacy in the workplace.
I love you.
So, what is privacy? An individual's right to seclusion or right to be free from public interference. Privacy at the workplace is a delicate topic, however, because some employees want to keep everything private and they want their privacy, but some employers believe that it's essential for them to monitor their employees for various reasons that we will be looking at. For security reasons, ensuring that the company is doing good, that the employees are following orders, and some employees just wish to have privacy at the workplace because it's a personal right. So there's both sides to it. The debate can be seen all around the world, and it's very different all around the world because different regions, different countries have very different ethics and different ways of seeing this issue and this viewpoint. It really is a little tedious because it's not super on the legal side. It is very ethical too. For example, in the United States, it depends on the business policies. We'll be looking at that in a second. The presentation will look over at the regulations on the monitoring systems, why some people believe that employees should be monitored and why they shouldn't. So, work privacy. Are there any laws and regulations? Every country is different, and every state has its own laws and policies. In Florida, for example, it just ranges on the place, its ethics, its values, and if it has laws. In Florida, however, there are no set laws really that state that an employer can't monitor their employees in regards to emails, phone calls, etc., other monitoring they can do at work. However, employers can't monitor employees outside of the workplace. Let's say they're walking out to the parking lot. The employer cannot look into their cars. It's not allowed. And yeah, so there's certain limits, but nothing specifically within the work field. Okay, so moving on to the Fourth Amendment. We're still talking about laws and regulations. So some people believe that the Fourth Amendment does not directly state that we have protection in the workplace, but some people do believe that it implies the protection and right to privacy at the workplace. And privacy policies vary from company to company, with some being more precise than others, depending on the company and the state, like in Florida, and the country in which it's found, like I said before. Okay. So, surveillance and monitoring, how are employees monitored? As I said before, it really depends on the business, the company, what are the values, how they work. In Florida, in Miami, their viewpoints may vary, and so they might have restrictions on the privacy that the employees can have. But some surveillance systems that monitor the employee can monitor employee emails, phone calls, messages, browser history, time elapsed, and work done on the computer. So this ensures that workplace productivity, and it also allows employees to work better, and they know that they have to be on task, and it just makes sure that these employees are working ethically more correct, following the code of conduct at their work. And if somebody's spotted by the employer that's not working adequately through the software, they can talk to them and solve the issue, or just take further steps to protect the company. So this prevents harm against any other employee and the company itself. Moving on. So some of the cons, however, this is the opposing viewpoint of monitoring employees. It would be that they can reduce workplace productivity in some instances, these surveillance systems, because they can cause the workers to feel observed and uncomfortable. Many studies that I researched on showed this, and they say that it can cause employee stress. So pressure to exceed certain expectations and be precise on a task every single moment. And they might even feel like if they're not doing exactly how they should, they're not going to get a raise. And that might be unfair. That can be ethically seen as wrong because it creates a certain pressure that the employer has the responsibility to take care of his employees. So it kind of breaks the contractual responsibility they have. It could be seen as they're doing some physical, mental harm to them, in a sense. So there was a case in China with an IT engineer at a gaming company, and he stated that he was very uncomfortable because the employers had a software that could, monitor them, but they also went further to implement cameras to watch over their productivity and the amount of time they took off. He said that even in lunchtime, they would check every single day to make sure that the employees weren't going over their lunch break. This may seem excessive to some people and ethically wrong, because as a human being, it should be fine to take a break or two. Just depends. So, workplace privacy. Some people believe that there should be a balance between the workers and employees. There should be some privacy, but not full privacy. In Italy, a study showed that Italy requires both a notice to employees and consent from them. This is due to Italy's ingrained ethical value to protect work dignity. So they even require the buy-in of work councils to permit the surveillance. That's how much they value their worker dignity. So it's a different ethical viewpoint. They take much more importance into employees' privacy. So reasons for monitoring. Employers monitor their employees to reduce liability risks and limit illicit activity. Emails should be monitored as it establishes more professional setting with employees. And the National Institute of Business Management actually reported that companies that do not monitor the use of their email by the employees are putting their businesses at risk of being sued. If an employee is doing something wrong, they might be sued for problems like sexual harassment and discrimination. The company will be sued for an issue that wasn't necessarily their fault. But if they have these monitoring systems, then they can catch that before it happens. So in conclusion, monitoring employees and limiting their privacy may lead to issues and ethical concerns for the employees. But in another perspective, within the employer's perspective, not monitoring them can lead to financial and safety issues as well as others, putting the risk of maybe employees and as well as the business, of course. Thank you.